It's probably been 7 or 8 years since I replaced our old manual room thermostat with a Wi-Fi controller. This is a stand-alone device working only with a single dedicated app on my phone or tablet. Time has moved on somewhat since I bought this, which I think cost about £25 at the time. Similar devices today are a bit smarter and offer additional features such as integration with other systems like Google Assistant and Alexa. I'll probably get a more up-to-date one sometime, but in the meantime, it still allows me to control my heating from the comfort of my armchair or, more usually, from the car when we want to turn the heating on for when we arrive home. I put off converting my hot water to Wi-Fi control at the same time because the system controlling our central heating and hot water is a Honeywell Y plan, which requires a 240 volt supply to the motorised valve when there is no demand for hot water heating. This is to prevent the valve delivering hot water to the hot water cylinder when only heating is required. Unfortunately, this also means that, unlike the heating control, you can't replace the hot water control with a simple on-off switch. Now I've had to bite the bullet because the old Honeywell controller has given up and stopped working. So, rather than spend £80 buying a direct replacement, I've worked out a way to replace it with a smart switch for less than £20. I'm sure there could be a simpler way, but what I've come up with uses a smart switch. Other smart switches are available, but I chose this one because it works with the Smart Life Hub and app, which I already bought to use to control several smart radiator bulbs I installed a couple of years ago. We also have a double pole, double throw mains relay, a two-way light switch, and a mains neon indicator. This is the circuit I'm using. Here we see the override switch in the up position, meaning control of the hot water is being performed by the smart switch. If we change the switch to the down position, the smart switch is bypassed and we have manual override. I thought this was useful in case we lost Wi-Fi or if any time the smart switch stopped working or the relay failed to actuate. This is the smart switch, this is the relay. And this is the neon indicator connected to the Wi-Fi switch live out using the now redundant heating on and neutral connections to the original controller. I originally intended to connect the live from the neon to the hot water on connection in the switch box, but I found that there was 240 volts on this connection from either the heating circuit when it was on or the cylinder stat in the up to temperature off position, so the neon was giving nonsense indications. I've used the yellows, blues and reds for the wiring from the two-way switch and into the Honeywell main junction box purely because these are the colours of the existing cabling. Here are the components wired together ready to be installed. We've got the smart switch, the relay and the two-way manual override switch. To test it works, I've attached two light bulbs, one connected to the hot water off circuit and the other to the hot water on. The two-way switch is currently in the up position, so control is by the smart switch. The smart switch is set to power off, so this light bulb connected to the hot water off is turned on. When the demand for hot water heating is turned on, either by pressing this button in the app or using a timed function, the hot water off currently locking the motorised valve is switched off and the hot water on current switched on. Similarly, if the manual override switch is turned on, the hot water off current is switched off and the hot water on current is switched on. I've set up two routines or scenes in the Smart Life app. The first one is a timer set to switch the hot water heating on every morning for 90 minutes. The second is a boost routine for any time outside this period, where if the hot water heating is turned on manually, it switches off after 45 minutes. Here is the two-way override switch with the neon indicator attached. Unfortunately, I failed to allow for the length of the neon when I sank the switch box into the wall. So, rather than digging out the old box and replacing it with a deeper one, I've glued the indicator to the back of the switch and drilled a small hole to allow the light to shine through, which looks okay. This is the two-way switch replacing the old controller. I put the smart switch and the relay in a small junction box by the main Honeywell junction box next to the hot water cylinder. To show how it works, power on, power off, power on, or another way, hey Google, turn the hot water off.
Okay, turning off two switches.
So, it's a good night from me, and, hey Google, say good night.
Night night, have fun at Club Duvet.
And it's a good night from her.